Okay, hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Mystic's Table. Today we will be doing session 3 of my Ironsworn campaign. And we're just gonna hop right into it. So let's do a quick recap. So at the end of session 2, we successfully undertook a journey from Grimbrooke, the village of, or the settlement of Grimbrooke, all the way over to the Pillar. I remember it was a troublesome journey, so it wasn't too bad. It was just following the river. We didn't run into too many complications, and we got to this pillar. And if memory serves, I believe we decided to investigate the pillar, and we touched it, and we could literally, or Albrun could feel. He could feel the vitality and just energy and stamina inside of him kind of literally drain out of his body in through his arm and into the pillar. He could feel the pillar pulling that vitality out of him. And I think I should have reviewed the details before starting this session. I think we had said that those intricate runes on the pillar had glowed purple when we did that, just the area around where he touched. And we also saw that the river that we had followed to get to the pillar, it was actually, the water was in contact with the pillar, and we had seen some dead fish in the river. So we can kind of deduce that this pillar is having a negative effect on the water. And we did note that we did see some villagers in Grimbrooke drink the water before we left. So that is a complication that is in the background. And we didn't do this last session. I think I kind of got caught up in the end of the session, so I forgot. But I feel like us reaching this pillar before this cataclysmic event that we think is going to happen. We still haven't confirmed if it's, the same thing. We know the sickness is the same thing, but we don't know if this event is going to be the same thing that happened in Rockhaven that happens here in Grimbrooke. We don't know. We have to see. But I do feel like us reaching this pillar before this supposed event was able to happen, and us getting this new information, because we didn't know about this beforehand. We didn't know that this pillar had some sort of vitality sapping property, and our main background vow is to discover the nature of the iron pillars and this cataclysmic event that had happened. And so I feel like this is definitely a revelation of the nature of the iron pillars, right? We now know that the pillars are capable of absorbing life force, and we saw it with the dead fish. So apparently water can act as a conduit for this effect. So personally, to me, I feel like that is a significant information that we've acquired. So I feel like that is worthy of reach a milestone on our background vow. And if I'll go ahead and remind you guys, it's an extreme vow, which means we mark 2 ticks. So we have half of 1 box now for our background vow. That's pretty good, I think. So that's the recap. Now we are here. So Albrun yanked his hand back when he felt that vitality leaving him. Obviously, he doesn't want to end up like the dead fish floating in the water. So he's kind of not even catching his breath. I feel like he's more just really exhausted right now. A sudden just brick wall of exhaustion had hit him when that happened. And he's just actually trying to get his energy back. He's maybe hunched over, he's taking a few steps away from the pillar. And if I remember correctly, the way we described it is that this pillar is in this sort of very small ravine. It's not a huge ravine, but the rocks were kind of outcropping, and then they fall off as a cliff, in a almost perfect circle around this pillar that's coming out of the earth. So we're down there, and we take a few steps back from this pillar. And so now we basically have confirmation that this pillar is definitely, we had a pretty sure, for sure, suspicion beforehand. But I think now that we've actually experienced what we just experienced, I think we can definitely say this pillar is magical in nature. Some sort of magic, something is happening. And it's so funny because I remember in session 0, I was like, when the heck are we ever going to use that sighted asset? The sighted asset. I didn't think it would ever come into use, but I think we're going to actually leverage it right now. I think we want to gather some information on this pillar, and we know it's magical in nature. And so the first ability we have unlocked for Sighted says, when you face danger or gather information to identify or detect mystic forces, add +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit. Oh, I should probably recap. We are already at 10 momentum from previous sessions. Our health is at 5, spirit is at 5, and our supply is at 3. I just want to, give a reminder. I know it's something hard to remember. Anyways, so I think I want to gather information and just kind of see where the dice takes us. And we are going to leverage our sighted assets. So I think let's go ahead and frame the fiction here. So Albrun is, kind of hunched over a little bit, kind of trying to recover his vitality. And he's going to kind of look up at this pillar and kind of squint, kind of puzzled. I would say throughout his life, he has always had the sight. It's something he was born with as one of Skuld descent. And he kind of has control over it. I would say it's not something that is always on. I would say for the most part, he goes through life with regular eyesight the way other Ironlanders do. But when he's intentional and he suspects, mystic forces, or he's looking for traces of magic or anything like that, he can kind of commit to that in his mind and turn the sight on, if that makes sense, and the world kind of gets a little hazy. And I would say things that have those mystical forces or are mystical in nature come into sharper focus, and maybe he can even see an aura around those kind of things. It's just kind of, I would say this sight is piercing into the veil that separates our reality from the Shadowlands, and the veil is what he's piercing through when he's using the sight. So he's kind of straightening up, kind of recovering a little bit, and he's going to squint his eyes and he's going to look at this pillar. And what he's doing now is he's turning on the sight. So we're going to see if this gives us any information or just kind of what the vibe is. So we're going to roll gather information. Okay, and this is plus wits, and our wits is +2. And we're going to add +1 for the sighted asset. Okay, so that's a 4 on the action die, +2, +1. So that's 7 versus a 6, or is that a 9? Oh, yep, that's a 9 versus a 9 and a 6. Is that a 6? Yeah, that's a 6. So versus a 9 and a 6, that's a weak hit. Okay. So on a weak hit, the information complicates your quest or introduces a new danger. Envision what you discover and take +1 momentum. So if we had any more room in our momentum bar, we would take +2 for the sighted asset and this weak hit, but we are already at +10 momentum. Do we want to burn momentum for this gather information we just did to get a strong hit? I don't know. No, I don't think this is a moment to burn momentum. I don't know. I think we can take this weak hit. So the information we get, it complicates our quest, which I would definitely say is the background vow, or introduces a new danger. So let's think about it. So we just use the sight to pierce the veil to take a look at this iron pillar. Oh, I already got it. I'm not even going to ask the Oracle. I know what the complication is. I know what the complication is. I think what the complication is, so Albrun is using the sight and he's looking at this pillar, and the aura that he usually sees around like things of mystical nature or whatever, it is a very just powerful blinding light. Like, so the pillar, it went from just this gray oblique thing, and when he turned the sight on, it's just like shining like the sun, like right at him. And like he like stumbles back, covers his eyes, like gets himself back into reality. And of course it didn't physically blind him because this aura wasn't like physical light, but like in his soul he can, like, it feels like he was just like kind of like flashbanged. I feel like mentally, like in his soul. And you know what, I think we are going to reflect this mechanically, and I feel like I want to endure some stress here. I feel like that's a trigger for endure stress. um Yeah, I do feel like that's yeah, I feel like that's a reasonable trigger for endure stress. So this is going to be our first suffer move of the campaign. Um, okay, endure stress. Okay, so when you face mental shock or despair, suffer minus spirit equal to your foe's rank or as appropriate to the situation. So I think this is going to be -1 spirit, so we're going to be at +4. And then you suffer, or that's if you okay. But now we're going to roll plus spirit or plus heart, whichever is higher. Our spirit is higher at +4. So let's go ahead and roll that and see what happens. Okay, that's a 2 on the action die, plus 4 spirit, so that's a 6 versus a 7. Oh crap! Versus a 7 and a 7. So that's a dang. Isn't that that's a miss? Yeah, that's a miss with a match. Okay. On a miss, you also suffer 1 momentum. Okay, so now we're at 9 momentum. Dang. And that's a miss with a match. So for that match, I think I kind of want to roll on the plot twist. The plot twist oracle. Why not? I think this is a pretty good narrative moment for a plot twist, right? We're here at this pillar. We just tried to look at it, and it freaking blinded us, spiritually blinded us. Freaking spiritual flashbang. And of course that hurt really bad. So we're gonna do Oracle 18 major plot twist, and just see what happens, I guess. So let's roll. Okay, I think that is 5, right? I think that's a 5. Yeah. It was all a diversion. Oh, it was all a diversion. Okay, so Albrun. Okay, so Albrun just looked at this pillar, and I mean it burned his soul, so to speak. And now he was already like physically down from the vitality thing. It's sucking up his vitality, and he's still trying to recover from that. And now he's like mentally stressed out. Like he just feels like a rush of like chaos, I feel like, going through his ears. Like he's really not doing too well. Okay, it was all a diversion. This is hard. It was all a diversion. I'm leaning towards in my head. The first thing that's popping in my head when I see it was all a diversion is that maybe this journey that we took to the pillar was a waste of time, because you know what? I think that's what we're gonna go with. So when we got to the village, right, and we said we were going to investigate or whatnot, we talked to that one villager, with her husband, and she said her husband had gotten sick like 4 days prior, and we believed from our past experience that this cataclysmic event would happen within 5 days. And of course, this was all on estimation. So we don't know exactly, the exact minute that this dude got sick or everyone else got sick. It could have happened in intervals. We don't know. So what we thought was one more day to do this, I think it was all a diversion. I think what this plot twist is going to entail is that actually we are too late and the cataclysmic event is happening now. I think that's what we're going to go with, okay? So I want to ask the Oracle if this cataclysmic event that's about to happen is about to happen right now. And you know what? Maybe that's why it was so bright. Yeah, let's go with that. So I think when we use the sight to look at the iron pillar and it freaking like flashbanged us, I think it's like glowing that bright in the veil because it's about to do something like really big. And that's why it was so bright. I like that. Okay, so I want to ask the Oracle if this cataclysmic event that is about to happen right now, if it is the exact same event that happened in Rockhaven in our childhood home, Albrun's childhood home, or if it's something different. And basically what this question is going to answer is, are all the pillars basically the same that do this like cataclysmic event at some given time, or is this or is it like unique to every pillar? I don't know. And I kind of want the Oracle to decide. So honestly, I think I want to say it's likely that it's the same event, right? Like I don't know what other cataclysmic event, well, or should we just do 50-50 and just see what happens? I think I kind of want to go with 50-50. That's what I think I'm leaning towards because I feel like this is a magical thing in nature and I don't think we need to necessarily apply real world logic to it. So we can leave it up to 50-50 chance on if this is going to be the same thing or if it's going to be something entirely new. So I want to say 0 to 50, it's the exact same thing. 51 or greater, it's something new that we haven't seen before. Okay? Okay, I think that's what we're going to go with. So let's roll. $48. Ooh, that was a close one. So it's the exact same thing. Okay. So this thing is about to blow up. Okay. I think we gotta face danger. You know what? Okay, you know what? Hold on. Hold on. Okay, so Albrun's here. And we already established, I think, what was that? Wasn't that, okay, I feel like Albrun, he knows that something is about to happen. He got freaking spiritually flashbanged just now. So I think we actually have time before we face danger. I think we have time because we already established last session. Was it last? I think it was last session. We established to the overseer Kanara that we don't know the warding ritual that our mother used to protect us that first time. And I meant to mention this at the beginning of this session. Between last session and this session, I was like thinking about the campaign and I was just like, I didn't realize how stupid of me as the player character and Albrun as the protagonist that we just walked straight to this pillar knowing that a cataclysmic event was going to happen. We absolutely should have stayed in Grimbrook if we had suspected that this thing was going to blow up. I don't know why we walked straight into the lion's den here. It's too late now. We're here, and it's about to happen. So, I mean, what can you do? So like I said, I feel like since we were able to leverage our sighted asset and we saw that something is about to happen, I feel like we actually have a few minutes, maybe a few seconds, maybe, to actually do something. And oh gosh, this sun is like killing me. Okay, and I want to leverage our invoke asset because we may not know the warding ritual, but we do have access to magic, and I'm hoping that when we face danger, we will survive. So we're going to go ahead and actually leverage our invoke asset for the first time. in this campaign. Oh my gosh, this sunlight is killing me. Okay. So when you consume the mystical essence of your surroundings, roll plus wits. So what we're doing here is, so Albrun, again, he's like hunched over. He's physically exhausted from touching the pillar. He's mentally and spiritually like just like in shambles right now from looking at that pillar with the sight. But he definitely recognizes that he's in danger, that something crazy is about to happen. So what he's going to do, he's going to kind of actually keep his eyes closed. He's still like hunched over, and he's just going to kind of take a deep breath, look inward, and just really just try to like, I feel like the process of this is kind of like closing your closing yourself inward and then opening your body up as a vessel to receive this mystical essence around you. And I like to think that this mystical essence is coming from the veil itself. Who knows? Maybe it'll even come from the pillar. And I also feel like in this version of the Ironlands that there are like nature spirits. They aren't necessarily like human spirits or anything like that. They're just like nature spirits. And I feel like those things can also contribute to mystical essence. So that's what Albrun is doing right now. He's like doing his best to try to absorb some mystical essence around him like right now so that he can prepare himself for what he senses is about to happen. So we're going to roll plus wits. Oh gosh, I really hope this works out. We don't have time to secure an advantage either. So we just got to roll plus wits plus 2 raw. Oh god, please give us a strong hit. Okay, 5 on the action die plus 2, so that's 7 versus... Oh crap. Okay, versus a 10 and a 5. Okay, it's a weak hit. At least it's not a miss. Thank God. So, okay. Let me read it. So on a weak hit, add the value of your action die to your essence track. So that was 5 on our action die without like the modifiers. So we're going to go up to 5 essence. But on a weak hit, capturing these energies is harrowing. Endure 2 stress. You know, and that I feel like that actually narratively makes a lot of sense, because we are right here by this pillar. This thing is a freaking like crazy beacon of magical energy, and I think in our attempt to open ourselves and absorb the magical energy around us, we could not shield ourselves. You know, after opening ourselves, we can't shield ourselves from the pillar that is right there in front of us, that is just like radiating this really destructive, harrowing energy. And so we actually end up taking some of that inside of ourselves as well, and that's where I think that's where I think the endure stress comes from. Oh shoot, I didn't realize we were at 3. No wait, that's supply. Oh, I was looking at our supply track. Okay, our spirit track, we're at plus 4, so we're enduring 2 stress, so that brings us down to plus 2 spirit. That's not great, but we also get to roll endure stress to hopefully maybe bounce back from that. So we're gonna go ahead and roll endure stress. It says roll plus spirit or plus heart, whichever is higher. Our spirit is plus 2 and our heart is plus 2, so it doesn't matter which one we pick. So we're just gonna roll plus 2. Okay, 6 on the action die plus 2 is 8 versus a 4 and a 3. Okay, strong hit. So we can choose. So on a strong hit, choose one. We can either shake it off. If your spirit is greater than 0, suffer 1 momentum in exchange for 1 spirit, or we can embrace the darkness and take plus 1 momentum. I think I'm gonna suffer momentum here and take some spirit back so we can get up to plus 3 spirit, because I don't like my spirit track being that low. At plus 2, that's kind of crazy. So we're at plus 3 spirit now and plus 8 momentum. Okay, so Albrun, just Jesus Christ, he's just going through it right now. But he's gonna take that energy, take that mystical energy that he just absorbed, rather quickly. His soul is feeling really brittle right now, I think, and he's feeling, I would say he's feeling quite chaotic. Like, it's just like this is just chaotic energy that he's taking into himself. And, I said earlier about that blood rushing in his ears. I feel like his eyesight is probably going a little hazy right now. Like, this is not really good. But this cataclysm is about to happen right now. So, this is face danger. I think this is absolutely a face danger move. We are right there, right by this pillar. I don't know what's going to happen. Are we going to... yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, right? Because we are, like, right here to this pillar that's about to, like, have some, like, magical, like, kamikaze, whatever. So, let me find the face danger. Okay, face danger. When you attempt something risky or react to an imminent threat, that's what we're about to do, envision your action and roll. If you act, blah blah, with speed, with charm, with aggressive action, deception, with expertise. Okay, this is going to be interesting. I don't know what we're rolling with. Definitely not edge. We're not rolling with edge. Oh wait, you know what? Hold on. We're facing danger. I forgot. The whole reason why I did that invoke asset, we now have this mystical energy inside of us. So we can actually use our magic. And so I will remind you guys the invoke ritual. I'll just read through it again. So after you add the value of your action die to your essence track, you may then secure an advantage or face danger plus essence to create minor mystical effects or illusions. If you do, suffer -1 essence and take +1 momentum on a hit. Okay, so that's why I did that invoke right there, because I knew that if we could roll high on our essence, on our invoke asset, we would have a way better modifier. So we have 5 essence, so we're going to get to roll +5. And I was like, I think that's definitely something we need to leverage right now, because we are in the most danger we've ever been in this campaign so far. So we're going to face danger +5. And I guess we'll see what happens. Oh, God. I hope this is a strong hit. Oh, shoot. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, that's a 4 on the action die. +5 is a 9. Versus... oh, crap. Versus a 9 and a 1. So it's a weak hit. Okay. It's a weak hit. Okay. On a weak hit, you succeed but face a troubling cost. Choose one. You are delayed, lose advantage, or face a new danger. Suffer 1 momentum. You are tired or hurt, endure 1 harm. You are dispirited or afraid, endure stress. You sacrifice resources, suffer 1 supply. Okay. Okay, I think I'm going to take these glasses off to try to fix this glaring issue. Sorry, guys. No, sorry. No, I gotta put these glasses back on. I don't want to give myself a headache. We'll just lean back here, I guess. Okay. So I think the proper consequence, I think the natural consequence for this, I think is you are tired or hurt. So, okay, so let's go ahead and hop back into the fiction, okay? So we're sitting there, we're kneeling in front of this pillar, and you know what? I think what's going to happen is those intricate runes that go all the way up and down this pillar are, at this point, they are all glowing purple. So beforehand, when we had touched it, it was just a few of the runes around our hand that glowed purple, but now it's like the entire iron pillar is lit up like the Eiffel Tower. Like it's like a Christmas tree. Like every single rune that is on this pillar is glowing a deep purple. And I would even say that the iron pillar is actually, it's vibrating now. So it was starting to pick up the vibrations, and now it's like really vibrating, and we're standing right next to it, and we can really like feel the shaking of the earth. This thing is like, it's just like vibrating. And I would say from the bottom up, those purple runes that are like glowing, they're glowing even brighter, and they're like growing, like they're like glowing brighter as they get closer and closer to the peak. So it's like the glow is like moving up like in an undulating motion. And so Albrun is watching this, and he didn't witness the pillar back in his childhood. He was inside of his home, so he never saw this before. But he definitely knows something is about to go down. Like, this is not normal. This is very dangerous. He can feel the chaos around him, like really just starting to envelope him. And with this mystic energy that he just took in, he is actually going to make, just instinctively, he's going to make, I'm going to say, yeah, he's going to make the Ironlander warding sign. I would say this is like just the casual warding sign that a lot of Ironlanders make when they are in such a situation that they feel like a horror is involved or something like that. This is just their common warding sign. And so he's actually going to make this warding sign in front of him, and he's really gonna like really focus on his magic, and he's gonna really try to channel it. What was that? That was a weak hit. Yeah, that was a weak hit. And so this pillar, this glowing, it reaches the top, and just in like just a fraction of a second, just enormous, just force wave just obliterates outside of the pillar, in just a huge sphere. And this thing just travels for like, I would say probably up to like a mile in a perfect circle. And like you can see the trees, they like, it's like a wind hit them, and some of the trees, like the leaves like shrivel up and decay. Birds that were flying in the sky like fall right out of the sky. Fish in the river are just immediately start floating up. And we will figure out what happened to Grimbrooke later. Something definitely happened though. But Albrun making that warding sign and channeling every bit of magic he has. Oh, I forgot. We need to suffer -1 essence for doing this, so we're at +4 essence now. But Albrun making this warding sign and just like channeling everything inside of him to try to protect himself is actually, his magic is actually able to kind of form somewhat of a ward around him. He didn't know he could do this, but it's not a very strong ward. It's definitely something he's never trained with. It's something he hasn't perfected. And despite the ward that he was able to make, this just powerful force wave kind of shatters the ward, and his ward absorbs most of the damage that that would have been taken if he wasn't warded. But he does still kind of fly back, and he actually, I feel like this force wave is like so powerful, it actually, he like flings him back into the cliff face behind him, and he actually hits his head on the rock, and he like falls down. And so that's where we're going to endure 1 harm. So our health is now +4, and we also need to roll endure stress, and endure harm, and see what happens with that. Okay, so endure harm. When you face physical damage, suffer -, health equal to your foe's rank or as appropriate to the situation. We already suffered our -1 health. And then roll + health or + iron, whichever is higher. So our health is at +4, so we're going to roll + health, and just see what happens. So let's see if we can maybe shake it off and bounce back from that. Okay, so that's a 5 on our action die, +4 is a 9. Versus a 5 and a 7. Okay, strong hit. So on a strong hit, choose 1. Shake it off. If your health is greater than 0, suffer -1 momentum in exchange for +1 health. Or we can embrace the pain, take +1 momentum. I don't know. I don't know which one I want, because it would be nice to obviously be back at +5 health. That would be nice. But then we're going to be down to 7 momentum, and we were doing really well at the start of this at our +10 momentum. If we embrace the pain, we get our + momentum back. And guys, I feel like I'm gonna regret saying this. I hope I don't regret saying this, but I feel like we are pretty safe sitting at 4 health. Oh my gosh, now I'm just imagining worst case scenarios and we end up like running into like a freaking giant or something on our way back. I feel like we're safe at +4 health. Like, I was worried about my spirit because I feel like with a magic based character, you want your spirit track to be as high as possible at all times, because almost any time you're leveraging a ritual asset, you have the risk of having to endure stress. So that's why I was so worried about the stress, and that's why I chose to try to get that stress back, that spirit back. But I feel like with health, we shouldn't be engaging in combat. So I personally feel like, ooh, oh my gosh, I just feel like I'm gonna regret this. But I feel like we're safe at +4 health. So we're gonna take the momentum. We are gonna choose to embrace the pain and take +1 momentum and go back up to +9. I'd like to keep my momentum high in case we need to burn it. So I hope I don't regret that decision. Okay? Okay. So we just hit this freaking cliff. Slammed the back of our head into this cliff. But now I would say that the pillar, it's no longer vibrating. It's like completely silent at this point. The runes aren't glowing anymore. And we are kind of looking around at the devastation, at the effects of this. And you know what? Actually, I know I said during this wave that, yeah, the fish did, like a lot of the fish in the river, they came up because they died and they're like floating on top of the river. But I would say like most of them at this point are now actually dissolving into ash in the river. So it wasn't like immediate, but like you can definitely see that they are like losing their physical forms and turning into ash, which is making the river a little sludgy, a little gross. And like Albrun is like looking at that, and he's like looking at himself, and he's like looking at his hands, and he knows that he was able to somehow create a ward in the moment and protect himself from this magical, cataclysmic whatever. And it's the first time he's ever did that in his life. He doesn't. I should mention probably in his backstory, he doesn't like. He is not trained at all. He's never been trained by a mystic, so his magic is very innate and very instinctual. And sure, he has a few tricks that he's maybe developed over the years, but he doesn't have any formal training or anything like that. So he had no idea he could make that ward. But, I guess in the fight or flight kind of moment, and in the moment, faced with a freaking devastation that can turn you into ash, he was able to figure out warding rather quickly because he had to. So cool. I love that. We got to use Invoke. That was pretty cool. Okay, so where are we at now? So, oh crap. Wait, didn't we take a vow about protecting the people of Grimbrooke? I guess we have to find out. I think we need to undertake a journey. I think we need to undertake a journey and find out if, the people were able to get far enough and evacuate, or if this force wave was able to reach them all the way in the deep wilds. I don't know. We're going to leave it up to the Oracle, and I guess that will actually determine how that vow goes. So let me just remind myself about that vow. So protect the people of Grimbrooke from the sickness and destruction. It was a dangerous rank. And we had 4 boxes before this. I don't think anything that we just did is worthy of a milestone for this vow, so we are still at 4 boxes. Yeah, so, okay. I'm tempted to roll another gather information on this pillar now that it's not like activated or whatever, and see if there's anything we can glean. I think we will. I don't think Albrun would leave this after going through all of that and witnessing this and, surviving this. I don't think he would just leave without taking another look at the pillar and trying to touch it again. So I think we're going to roll gather information one more time and see what that brings us. Okay, so we're gonna roll gather information plus wits. Oh, oh, ah, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, crap. Don't tell me. Okay, that's a frick. That's a 6 on the action die, plus 2 is an 8. And I think we just rolled double tens. Oh, crap. Oh my god, we shouldn't have done that. That is a miss with a match, and that is literally the worst miss in match you can roll in the game. Oh, crap. Okay. On a miss, your investigation unearths a dire threat or reveals an unwelcome truth that undermines your quest. Pay the price. Crap. Okay. Let's frame the fiction. Okay, so we wanted to gather information. So Albrun, he stands up. He's rubbing the back of his head. He just got slammed into this freaking cliff, and he approaches this pillar. And it stopped vibrating. The runes aren't glowing, and I think he even can kind of see a little bit with the sight that this pillar. You can still see like a mystical aura around it, but it's not nearly as bright as it once was. And he's actually going to go up and touch the pillar again. Okay. Oh, crap. A miss in a match. Do we roll on the major plot twist oracle again? Or do we just roll on the pay the price table and... I don't know. I don't know if I want to roll on pay the price or major plot twist. I think we're going to do major plot twist. I feel like the major plot twist oracle table should account for that match, the double 10 match. Right? I think that's what we're going to go with. Is we're going to do major plot twist. I think if it wasn't a match, we would just do pay the price, but we're going to do major plot twist to reflect that match. God, that is crazy. I cannot believe we rolled double tens on our challenge die. That's crazy. Okay, let's see what happens. 24, okay. A secret alliance is revealed. A secret alliance is revealed. So we touch the pillar. An alliance with who? The pillar and who? Okay, well, the core rulebook says that if a roll doesn't make sense, you can finish with it. So we rolled, what was that, a 24? So we're going to switch those numbers around and see what 42 gives us. You and an enemy share a common goal. What enemy? I don't think we even have any enemies yet. Ally is probably the closest thing we have to an enemy. No, that doesn't make sense. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to roll one more time on this major plot twist table. If the result doesn't make sense, we're going to switch over to pay the price. Okay? 49. A true identity is revealed. Hold on, let me take a look at this miss that we made on gather information. On a miss, your investigation unearths a dire threat or reveals an unwelcome truth that undermines your quest. So the quest in question is definitely our background vow, which is discover the nature of the iron pillars in the cataclysm, right? And the miss, either this investigation that we just did, touching this pillar, after it deactivated, it either needs to unearth a dire imminent threat right now, or it's going to reveal an unwelcome truth, something that we don't want to hear, something we don't want to know. And I feel like this iron pillar thing, it's so mysterious that I wouldn't even know what an unwelcome truth would be, right? Because I don't know. We haven't really explored much with these pillars, so I'm having trouble trying to brainstorm what an unwelcome truth would be that undermines our quest. Because honestly, literally any information we can get on the pillars is beneficial to our quest. So I don't know how any additional information could be undermining of our quest, if that makes sense. So I think we have to go with the whole dire threat thing. So my question is, I don't know. A dire threat. This to me is, I'm thinking some sort of creature. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. I don't even know if there's an oracle table for creatures. I don't remember seeing any creature oracle table. Okay, hold on. Maybe I'm gonna have to actually go to the... dire imminent threat. I think I figured out what the dire threat is going to be. Okay, so Albrun touches the pillar. Nothing happens. The pillar isn't activated. You know, it's not like it's gonna... He doesn't even feel it like sapping his vitality. Whatever this cataclysmic event was, it happened and it's done. It's gone. The pillar is just ice cold, basically. It's actually unnaturally cold, to be honest. When he touches it, it's not like, based on the laws of thermodynamics, it shouldn't be colder than its surroundings, but it is. And so he's just kind of like trying to investigate. He doesn't figure anything out, but he feels a rumbling, and he gets scared because he just felt all these vibrations from this pillar, and at first he's thinking it's this pillar. Is it gonna freaking happen again? Is it gonna blow up? Like, does he need to freaking ward himself again in the thick of it? But no, he realizes that these vibrations, it's like, I feel like it's like a churning, like kind of like the vibrations you would feel if rocks were like tumbling in a bowl. So it's like just a churning, tumbling of vibrations from behind him, and actually up, because remember, we're in that ravine that's surrounding... no, not up. Actually, just kind of behind him to the side, yeah. And he looks over there, and he sees like just a rush of water coming out from like the ravine and like into the part where the river touches the pillar. It's like a rush of like water, like a torrent. And quick on his feet, Albrun immediately like gets behind the pillar and kind of hides himself. But he's also kind of looking around, and he's seeing this torrent, and it's very powerful. Like it's definitely not natural. And this torrent, it's gonna kind of rush into the ravine, but it's not gonna keep going. You know, a river, it's like one way to the other, but the torrent for some reason stops in the middle of the ravine right next to the pillar. And it stops, and it's like this swirling mass of like river water with rocks from the riverbed kind of being like sucked up into it, you know, as it's turning, and it's just kind of staying there. And there's like maybe some moss too. And suddenly, like this homunculus shape of just rushing water that's unnaturally standing still, two glowing dots at its most top part of this body suddenly appear. It's like two glowing, I would say like cyan glowing dots kind of open up as if they're eyes. And before us, and this thing is huge, so I would say this thing is probably, this rushing water body swirling thing is probably around 7 to 8 to 9 feet. And it's like constantly changing its size too, so it's not even like kind of staying still. And before us is a river primordial, the embodiment of nature. So yeah, and this thing, I imagine that this force wave that just happened disturbed this primordial that lived in this river, that was probably far away. And this thing, I would say that this thing is also pretty damaged. So like those river rocks that are like swirling in its body are like kind of cracked. The water is also sludgy, how we mentioned the dead fish were turning into ash. This river primordial is actually taking up that water that's around it, so the water is also sludgy, so it's not like clear, nice looking water. Like it's kind of like brownish, a tiny bit sludgy water with cracked rocks, and the moss looks kind of dead. So this primordial took probably the brunt of whatever this force wave was. So it's not in its prime, which is good for us. And so this is an imminent dire threat. So this thing is enraged, it's angry, and it's come to investigate this pillar that just messed up the entire river and killed all the fish or whatever. Like, this primordial is not happy. So I would say it is actually going to start just taking its rage out on the pillar. It's going to like try to like, just like shooting water at the pillar, just like trying to slash at it. This pillar is indestructible, so the pillar is fine, but this primordial is like raging, and it's like you can just see like this river foam just like coming out. You can feel the vibrations every time this thing tries to hit the pillar. It's like, and I would even say like dark clouds are actually starting to gather around the pillar again, but this time it's not from the mystical energy of the pillar. This time it's like it's starting to rain, and it's starting to rain like really bad. And it's actually, the rain is like falling so hard that it's actually hurting Albrun. Like, it's like maybe even causing welts on him. Like, this rain is like just coming down. This primordial is raging right now. Okay? And I would almost say that this is a face danger roll, is it not? I think it is. I think this is just straight up face danger. This primordial is in a rage, a primordial rage. This thing is very powerful. So we are actually going to face danger, and I think this is face danger with aggressive action, forceful defense, strength, or endurance, roll plus iron. So this is endurance. This is just straight up endurance. Crap, our iron is trash. We have +1 iron. This is our first iron roll of the campaign. I was trying to avoid that, but obviously you can't avoid that forever. So we have to roll plus iron on face danger and just kind of see what happens. Oops. Okay. Ooh, that's a 2 on the action die. +1 is 3. Oh crap, versus 3 and versus 3 and a 10. That's a freaking miss, y'all. Oh god, that's a straight miss. Oh god, okay. On a miss on face danger, you fail, your progress is undermined by dramatic costly terms, pay the price. I don't think we need a roll on the pay the price table. I feel like it's pretty obvious what happens. This rain is not normal rain. It is extremely forceful. And it hurts. And so we are actually going to endure harm here. Is this a +2? I feel like this is just a -1 harm. Like, I don't think this is -2. It's rain. Like, it hurts, but it's rain. It's water. You know what I mean? It's not like it's poisonous or anything. So we're going to endure 1 health, or endure 1 harm. That brings us down to +3 health. And we are also going to roll endure harm and see what the outcome of that is. And see. And see if we're able to recover. Okay? So, endure harm. So I think we're rolling either plus iron or plus health. So our health is +3. That's way better than our iron. So we're going to roll plus health. That's +3. Let's see what happens. That's a 4 on the action die. +3 is 7. Oh, crap. Versus a 9 and an 8? Oh my god, it's another miss. On a miss, you also suffer -1 momentum. Jesus. Okay, we're at +8 momentum. Do we burn momentum here, actually? No, we're not going to burn momentum. Okay, we're at -1 momentum. Okay. We're at 3 health, 8 momentum, 3 spirit, and 3 supply. We are not doing too well. And this primordial is still raging right here. And we're like on the other side of the pillar, and the primordial is like attacking the pillar from the other side. The primordial hasn't seen us yet. Okay, so I think we need to get out of here. I think we need to escape, which sounds like another face danger roll to me. Now the question is, do we want to try to... No, we have to make this make sense. I don't think we can sneak away. There's no cover. We're in the middle of a ravine that is a perfect circle. The only cover we have is that. Well, I guess if we... you know what? Actually, I guess if we actually stay... like directly, if we keep the iron pillar directly between us and the primordial we wouldn't be in the primordial's line of sight. So I guess technically we could sneak away. That would be plus shadow on a face danger. Or what we could also do, we could leverage our magic. We have some essence still left over, and we could create like an illusion that could work as a distraction. Well, I don't know if that's necessary because the primordial's already extremely distracted with this pillar. So it's not like we need to take attention off of ourselves right now. Like the attention is not on us. So I think narratively what makes sense here is face danger plus shadow. I think that is what makes the most sense right now. We're just gonna try to keep the pillar between us and the primordial, and we're gonna try to sneak out and get out of here while the rain is like freaking pelting us. Okay, so we're gonna roll face danger plus shadow. We're trying to do this really stealthily. Okay. Our shadow is +3, by the way, so let's see what happens. Okay, so we have a 2 on the action die, +3 is 5. Dang, versus a 7 and a 1. Okay, weak hit. At least it wasn't a miss. Okay, so on a weak hit, you succeed but face a troublesome cost. Let's see, choose one. You're either delayed, face a new danger, or tired or hurt, you are dispirited or afraid, you sacrifice resources. Okay, I think what makes narrative sense, and also what kind of cuts us a little bit of slack so we don't die, I think is I'm gonna choose the you are delayed thing, because I think with this horrible like torrent of rain from this river primordial's rage, I'm thinking that is what's slowing us down. Like we can't just like sneak off like we usually could, like with carefulness and stuff. Like we are being pelted by really painful rain while also trying not to make any noise and trying to keep this huge pillar between us and this raging primordial, which is like a visage of a demigod. We do not want this thing and its rage to look at us. So I think suffer 1 momentum makes sense because it's taking us a lot of time to be extra careful, but we do succeed and we do make it out of the ravine. And the river primordial does not notice us. So we're going to go ahead and suffer 1 momentum, so we're at +7. And I would even say that once we're out of the ravine, this rain is gone. So it's like this rain was like really concentrated right here on this pillar. This river primordial is just like going ham on the pillar. It's just mad. Like, I mean, I'd be mad too if, this thing just like destroyed my home and woke me up out of whatever sleep I was in or whatever primordials do in their free time. I don't know. But yeah, so we made it out. Primordial's distracted, so we're good. We're very much battered. And we barely learned any information. We now have a general idea of what happens before a cataclysmic event, right? And I think since this cataclysmic event was the exact same thing that happened in our childhood, I feel like that is a pretty good indication that all the Iron Pillars are capable of this event that dot the land. So that's more information that we have than what we started with, so that's good. It costed us quite a bit, but I think we did a pretty good job. So I think that this is a pretty good spot to end the session. As much as I would love to go find out what happened to Grimbrooke because of this forceful wave and if the people are safe and, to try to finish out this vow and get some more XP, I think this is a great stopping point. So we will handle that in session 4. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you have any tips for me or, any comments, anything you want to share at all, feel free to leave that in the comment section. If you like this series, feel free to leave a like, subscribe. Thank you. See you next time.